I'm Betsy Kim, editorial director of Lawyers.com. I'm here today with Todd Levitt. He's an attorney in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and he's well known for representing students at Central Michigan University, but he's also well known for his Better Call Todd ads and reputation. Hi Todd, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Hi Betsy, thanks for having me.
What was like one of the most outrageous drug cases that you've handled?
I think the most outrageous drug case I've ever handled is I had a client who was using Build-A-Bear at the mall to smuggle drugs. It was actually a lady. She would actually go to Build-A-Bear. She would produce all kinds of different stuffed animals and then take them home and then fill them with all kinds of drugs and transport them. I had another client that got pulled over by the police just for speeding, and the officer said, "Hey, is there anything else you want to tell me?" And he goes, "Well, I got 20 pounds of marijuana in a case in my apartment." So, I mean, he outed himself.
So instead of Breaking Bad's Better Call Saul, you're Better Call Todd. What's that all about?
I think I'm similar in personality. Obviously, I'm an ethical attorney. I don't, break any laws. As an attorney, if you're aware of a crime taking place or one that's about to take place, you have an obligation to report that. And so I'm not similar in that circumstance. I'm similar in personality and style. Saul Goodman participates in criminal activity. Let's just say what it is. I mean, he helps people avoid the law. He helps them disappear. He'll do whatever is necessary to protect his clients. He crosses that line, and he's on that line and crosses that line. I don't cross that line. I represent my clients with advocacy, and but I never cross the line. So that's how I distinguish myself between Saul and myself. I mean, he'll do things that are illegal and unethical, and I won't. I'll do everything according to the law, according to my knowledge, and according to the relationships I've developed with people.
In what way do you think you are sympathetic to your clients, and are you sympathetic to Walt and Jesse?
A lot of the clients I've represented who are caught distributing, whether it's marijuana, cocaine, or meth, I mean, these are our fathers, these are our uncles, these are our mothers, our sisters, our aunts. These are people who, for whatever reason, have been dealt a very hard card in life, and they made the wrong decision, and they turned to first using these drugs, and then they turned to selling these drugs. To me, Walt's the underdog in this story, and you want to root for him. So you always want to root for the underdog.
Do you think in the last episode, should Walt or Jesse have called Saul at any point?
I think so. I think that I agree with you that had Saul been involved, Hank would not have been murdered on his partner. Saul would have probably showed up or talked somebody out of it. I mean, sometimes Saul appears to be completely illogical, and other times he appears to be very logical. So yeah, I do think that if Saul had been involved, Jesse would not have been kidnapped, and Hank would not have been murdered. Right when Walt was leaving to go out to the desert, he should have called Saul at that time. And I think if that was, then Saul would have diverted the whole situation. Hank and his partner would have been murdered. Jesse would have been kidnapped. Therefore, if Hank wasn't killed, Walt would not have rushed home as we saw him doing, grabbing all his clothes and telling his wife and Walt Jr., "We have to leave, we have to leave." Therefore, the knife never would have been pulled. Junior never would have called the cops. So, I mean, Saul could have come in and averted the whole thing. As an attorney myself, I mean, I would have averted that whole situation. I would have found Walt and either kept him in my presence till he calmed down. I would not have allowed him to go out to that desert. And so that would have disrupted the whole pattern of everything that happened as a result.
So the whole episode would have been quite different had he just called Saul at the very beginning.
Absolutely.